What's up, Big Bear Nation? Welcome back to the homestead. So I'm inside the back pasture, and you can see the two guys back here behind me fighting, right? Well, if you look to this side of me, do you see something that doesn't belong? So we came out here because the dog was barking and we weren't quite sure what was going on. So Ladessa came in the backyard to check everything out, and she said, did somebody put Bucky back there with everybody in the back pasture today? No. So apparently Bucky has put himself in the back pasture, and I think what happened, we're not quite sure, but we have been walking the fence line here to see, and it doesn't look like he got through the fence. It looks like the gate right here where Ladessa's standing was loose enough that all he had to do was wiggle through, because he's not very big. So we were able to kind of figure out that he's gone through the gate right here where Freckles bent it 2 years ago, and we're thinking that that's how he got in. So to leave him in or to pull him out? Well, so far right now, it looks like the cows have kind of accepted him. He's kind of jumped on the big boys a couple of times, and they've kind of looked at him and said, knock it off. So we're thinking that everything's gonna be good. So hopefully we'll be able to keep everybody together over the next month while we wait for Bo and Duke to go to processing. So what do you think with your new neighbor? Hey, Dory.
I tell you, Mom, it was like this. And no, you can't pass that and realize that. I'm gonna try to.
Hey, guys. How's everybody doing? We all getting along? Hey, Bucky. Hey, buddy. Are you enjoying your time? Huh? Hey? Oh. I'm a little sad because he doesn't want to spend any time with me anymore. Hey, Bucky, come here. Buckinator. Bucky. It's like my little birdie has flown away. He's all grown up. So the good news is, so far, so good. It feels like he's established his spot in, oh God. Lagatha, no! Lagatha, come! Come here, now. Uh-oh. Okay, maybe he'll come back. Oh, look. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, so that was kind of interesting. Lagatha's off her leash right now, and so we're letting her run around. She started to run Bucky around, and very quickly Bo decided that he would tell him, you know, you need to come back in with the herd. So now everybody's checking out the buckets because there's probably some leftover feed in there. So I probably need to go get that before somebody decides to jump in the back seat. I'm always fussing at Ladessa to close the door. We always make the joke that she's gonna run the battery out if she leaves the door open. That didn't really stick, so I went ahead and closed the door because Calf Pal is thinking very seriously about getting inside the canine. Can't have that. I don't think it'll hold. So I'm really excited to be down here to see this. It looks like Bo has taken on as the head of the herd. And every once in a while, you'll hear him make this really loud moo sound. And it's funny because I look at it, it almost reminds me of how a rooster crows when he's trying to collect all of his females. It's funny because when he does that, everybody kind of herds together and gets a little bit closer. It's almost like he's telling them, hey, I can't see all y'all. I need you to kind of get a little bit closer so I can keep an eye on you. So it's pretty neat to see that. And what's really cool about that is that he's herding Bucky. He's making sure that Bucky stays in with the group. So as far as I can tell right now, it looks like he's been accepted into the herd. The only time I'm ever seeing any issues is when he starts trying to go after Dory, because they're really close in size. And so he keeps trying to jump her, which I would be okay with once he's old enough to breed her. That would be okay. That's part of the reason why we haven't castrated him. But that's the only time I've ever seen any kind of conflict. And it's really not so much from Bo as it is from Duke. So as long as this kind of holds out and everything works the way that it seems like it's working, we should be okay. So last night, about 1:30 in the morning, we got woken up by the dogs going crazy. Lagatha was barking inside really loud, like somebody was breaking in. And then after we figured out that wasn't what was going on, we noticed that Gizmo was also just raising Cain outside. So we grabbed flashlights, went to look and see what was going on. And we started hearing the cow mooing. And so we looked a little bit closer. We got over here to the hay barn. And guess who was up here visiting? So I guess after 2 or 3 nights of Louise bellowing for him, mooing really loud, basically telling him she was alone up here by herself, I guess he decided that it was probably better to come back up here and spend time with her. So sometimes he just lays here while she's grazing, and then other times he's walking around, but he doesn't really go too far from her. At first I was a little frustrated about that because, you know, he moved himself back there. He was getting along fine with those other cows. And then he moves back up here, and of course he does it at 1 o'clock in the morning, which was crazy in and of itself. But he is taking an interest in her, which is good because our long-term goal is for him to breed her. I do know he really likes to be close by her, and she really likes to be close by him, because we've been putting him in the corral to keep him away while Ladessa's milking, because he likes to try and jump her while she's stationary in the milking stall. So we've started putting him in the corral for safety purposes. And one night we left him in there. So the corral is straight back there, and the hay barn's like right there. So they're really not that far apart, but we had accidentally left him in there. And again, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. We started hearing him mooing like incessantly. He would not stop. And his moo is really strong and really loud. So I was like, Ladessa, go let him out and let him get in the pen with Louise. As soon as she did that, he was quiet, they went to bed, and everything was good. So I guess in the long run, I should be grateful because, one, nobody got out, nobody was dead, everybody got along, nothing was destroyed. And ultimately, we know that Bucky likes Louise. So I guess at the end of the day, it was a win-win. Well, thank you for hanging out with us during all of these crazy drama cow drama moments that we have. It's been interesting, and I just wanted to share it with you because there was a lot to learn during the course of this thing. Like, we got to see the cows smelling each other. We got to see Bucky, you know, actually forcing himself in on the herd. And then ultimately coming back to, I guess, take his place in his own little herd. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for stopping by the Big Bear Homestead. God bless. Have a nice day.